All right, let's switch gears and talk about something timeless. This session explores how silver is finding its footstep into the digital world as both a hedge and a high-tech investment play from tokenized Bullion to new fintech platforms reshaping assets. Let's welcome our moderator, Ivan Wong, Managing Director at ATFX Connect for Southeast Asia, and our experts. Thank you.
Thank you. Yep. Very good afternoon to everyone. Just before I go proper into the session, just want a raise of hands. How many of you guys and ladies have silver on you? Wedding rings. But guess what? One of our distinguished guests, Edita, is all in silver. So very aptly done. But before I deep dive into the context of the host panel, why don't I allow my distinguished guests just to self-introduce before I lay the ground of what's going to be discussed today.
Hello everyone. My name is Nikhil, and I am the sales manager at MH Markets. I've been in this industry since last, you can say, 5 years. But prior to that, I was mostly into digital marketing and in working as an analyst. Thank you.
Hi guys, I'm Edita and today I represent ZFX. So I lead the brand function there, and actually ZFX is so excited to be covering this topic because our clients, both institutional desks and direct traders, love metals. I think 80% of trades currently are metals, A. And B, we actually do have our own token called ZDS, and that's why this is such a great topic for us to cover.
Thank you, Nikhil and Edita. So just to lay the ground as a backdrop to the discussion, I think as the title aptly mentioned, metal versus machine, specifically silver versus machine. I think everyone knows crypto, fintech, blockchain, DeFi has always been the talk of town in the last couple of years. So within this backdrop, let's not forget silver has been silently making a quiet comeback, despite a lot of people have said that it's an underrated sibling of gold. So with this context in mind, I would like our distinguished guests, where we deep dive this session, to fully understand how silver has evolved within such a digitalized space and how it will continue to play as a pivotal role as an investment asset class within the retail and institutional investors backdrop. So why not with that, let's start off our first talk of the day, where what's tokenized assets and what is specifically tokenized silver. For instance, Kinesis silver, T silver. So would I have the pleasure to have perhaps Edita just to kick off? Yep.
Of course, I think when it comes to silver and the fact that it's now being tokenized, there are so many opportunities. And in fact, this is not an either or. This is not bullion versus blockchain. This is actually both. So tokenized silver is basically silver on the blockchain that is attributed to the real deal in the vaults. However, there's a moment here. Not all tokenized silver is the same. There are tokenized silver that is specifically connected to silver, and there is synthetic silver, and there is challenges within that, right, Ivan?
So Nikhil?
Yeah, so as Edita mentioned, the thing is tokenized silver is silver which we are talking about a digital or decentralized, wherein which is a silver which is an actual vault. Okay, we are talking about tokenized silver which is backed by a real time asset. So, and yes, as Adita just mentioned, that there are real silver and there are synthetic silver. So, but mostly the companies, it has been, or you can say most decentralized or silver which has been in the vault, it has been, you can say that it has been backed by real asset.
So let's circle back and perhaps deep dive a bit to the pros of tokenization, decentralization. As we're all aware, decentralization in fact enables fractionalization of asset classes. So in your own view, how does that affect or benefit market liquidity in terms of access, say, to the ordinary men and women on the street? Not to forget, silver right now per ounce in the range of 40-ish US dollars has ever went up a couple of weeks to the north of like 53, 54.
Multiple peaks,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So do you see that as a positive impact to market liquidity access?
Absolutely. If you think about it, before, okay, so we can buy silver as a bullion, then we can go through derivatives, sure. And now we have more asset classes that could be really, really attractive to our type of investor mindsets. Some of those mindsets would never even consider silver bullion, but they would be really, really keen on tokenization of silver or silver tokens. That's why, for me, from my perspective, gold is here as a store of value, crypto is this rocket, and silver is that bridge in between that could be interesting for a variety of investors. The other thing that I would say is access. What you mentioned, Ivan, the access is so, so easy now. From your phone, with one app, you can access a whole variety of asset classes. Silver tokens, but also, as I mentioned before, derivatives or actual bullion. And it's interesting because it's instant and could be fractional, so you no longer need to have large minimums to participate in the market, and that is attractive to so many investors.
Yeah, I do agree to Adita, but other than that, silver has real value, and silver has been used in various solar panels, batteries, switches, conductors, and capacitors. So silver is really, you can say that the thing is, silver is used in real life. Everything, we wear silver, the mobile phones which we use over there, the capacitor and the conductors over used in it, the chips, there is an ounce of silver which has been used, or an amount of silver which has been used over there. So what I believe is that, as we are mentioning and we are saying, that silver is rising now, and silver, you can say that silver is no longer the back, you can say the it's not like taking a back stage in it, it is now coming in front. And the same thing which you can see now in the when you see the charts and the prices of silver, they are rising, as Adita mentioned, has multiple tops, and again right now it is in $40.
Well, Nikhil, I think I totally agree with you in terms of the real case utility for physical silver itself. I mean, let's take a step back again. I think for the benefit of the audience and retail investors especially, I think all of us know that anything that is digitalized, blockchain, DeFi, are there anything that investors should be cautious of when they invest, say, in a digital silver token? What are the sidetracks or the black spot, that they should be aware and cautious of? Perhaps Nikhil, you want to comment first?
For me, I believe that the thing is, silver, the way it is going around now, and with anything which has a real value, okay, and something which has been backed by a real asset, and this, you can say, physical asset in a wall, I believe that it is a safe bet for the people. This is what I think. Yeah.
But there are challenges, of course. And one of the challenges is understanding what asset is synthetic and what asset is an actual token that is connected to the real deal. Exactly what you said, Nikhil. That's the first thing. The second thing, there are current challenges around regulation and compliance when it comes to, say, synthetic silver and consumer trust. trust is an important thing, specifically in our industry. Once there is more confidence, transparency around these particular asset classes, I believe institutional desks will not be so cautious about tokens, A, and then B, retail traders also be much more excited about these particular asset classes.
I kind of like totally agree where this tokenization is heading. I think it has also created a space of peripheral service providers, say for instance, evaluating counterparty risk of a provider who's trying to provide that tokenized silver, for instance. So I think it's all positive moving in that way. Now, let's take a bit of a U-turn. Yep, all good with tokenized silver. Let's go back to the real silver. So now with what I would term as a perfect storm, it's very unseen, in the last couple of years where there's a direct correlation in terms of like equities, metals, all going in the same way. In fact, if you look at reports, I think coefficient of this correlation goes as high as 0.6 to 0.8. So now, with this backdrop in mind, and not to forget big AI firms like NVIDIA, for instance, right? How does financial technology in general, has also driven the landscape, the sentiment, say for silver as a physical asset or an investment of choice? Aditya?
Of course. I think it democratizes access to it, right? So more people have that ease of getting on their phone, getting on their app, and getting those assets. And a whole variety of appetites as well. So somebody who's more risky or with a bigger risk appetite, they would be interested in synthetic silver, for example. Yeah. They don't mind that maybe a rug can be taken from their feet and something goes wrong, because they have that risk appetite. But then, as Nikhil, you were mentioning, the more traditional assets are also at our fingertips because of fintech, exactly what you were saying, Ivan. But then, fintechs then have, I guess such as us, have a responsibility to educate and make sure that our clients understand what exactly they are trading. So for me, fintechs are changing the landscape, not only from an access perspective, liquidity perspective, but also they're making tokens much more understandable.
I do agree, because the thing is with fintech, it is easy, and you can say it's simple, it's accessible, and it has been backed. Mostly fintech companies, either they are regulated, which are, means you can say popular companies which are regulated, and they give easy access to people and show easy steps wherein they can buy, they can sell, or they can auto invest, which is what fintech is all about, right? Making things simple and easy.
So, if I'm going to put both of you all in a tight spot, right? I think this is financial planning 101. If there's a ratio to it, what percentage of the portfolio, in your best effort of diversification, do you think that any retail investors should have in mind? Should they divest some of their current holdings, say, into not necessarily silver, but let's broaden that horizon, say metals in general, gold and silver? Is there like a golden ratio that you guys think between bonds, equities, and metals in general that they should have in mind, say, within this environment, within this landscape now? Nikhil?
Okay, so let me put this into a very simple way. Okay, the thing is, I am from India. Okay, and for Indian, silver and gold or any metal, we worship them. Okay, even you can see I am even wearing a silver ring which my mom gifted me. Okay, so silver, what I feel is that the retail investor, because overall the prices of gold, they are shooting up too much, and now gold being, you can say, a retail investor with a working class investor who likes to invest and who likes to trade, gold is kind of hard. Silver at the moment it's not at that much high. Plus, with silver, it gives you more value with the investment, wherein because, and as I mentioned before as well, that because silver is used in various things like solar panels, batteries, conductors, and so this is what I feel.
Ivan, that's such a tough question, but I think it's one we should discuss. Let's be honest, portfolios are consistently changing, and that's the actual answer. If you are a reactive trader to macroeconomic events, you will change your strategy, you will pivot. And here's an example. For example, yesterday there was a macroeconomic event and metals actually went down. We all know this. Despite it having multiple peaks, still, compared to last week, we're in a different situation. So the right answer is a reactive portfolio of a thinking trader. But going back to what Nikhil said, because I really, really agree, when we think about metal versus machine, which is the topic of our whole conversation today, actually, I really disagree with this topic. I'm sorry, guys at IFX. Because without silver, we wouldn't have AI, because it's one of the main components in microchips. One. Two, solar panels, exactly what you said. So these machines wouldn't necessarily exist without silver. So probably the topic should be, what machines we would even have without silver, or metals anyway. So because silver is used in industrial and different kind of sectors for building blocks, it has that it has become this economic indicator for economic growth. So that's one thing. It can also reflect investor sentiment. That's the second thing. The third thing, Nikhil, as you said, is the store of value. So suddenly silver is kind of reinventing itself as an asset class that is, to be added to any thinking trader's portfolio. But then tomorrow we might have another macroeconomic event and everything changes.
And I think just to supplement that as well, I was at the Forex Dubai, and there was a topic on gold, right? I think it falls in quite aptly. Just to reiterate, what I mentioned back then was this is a situation of perfect storm. Never have you ever seen the physical demand for metal elements like silver that's gaining so much traction in the AI space, in the hard industry space. At the same time, geopolitical factors are also driving that. So silver being a non-sovereign asset class has been along with gold as well. The choice of being reserve accumulation, I think, in the last 1 to 2 years. Look at Poland. Central Bank of Poland was top last year in 2024 in terms of accumulating tons of metals, whether it's gold or silver. So I do agree, it's a combination of factors and perfect storm that is driving this whole trend within the metal space in general. Okay, before we reach out to the audience and see if there are any burning question, why not let's give 1 or 2 minutes to each of my distinguished guests to see if you all have anything to add on.
Sure. So, as the topic is about silver and tokenized silver, I believe that with the tokenized silver and the metal being in question, and wherein we are talking about silver mostly, we should always see and we should always value that what exactly a retail client you can say afford and access. And I believe right now silver is, you can say, in that range where a retail client or retail customer can go ahead and can make a purchase, and soon, because the whole world is moving towards green energy, silver will be rising up and their current investment will pay off back then. This is what I feel.
I think for me, the fact that tokenization is such a big trend it's just opening the market to many more investors to participate and explore these asset classes. So it's widening the market. And actually, I'm really curious to find out in a year's time what other asset classes will emerge with emerging technology and fintechs leading the way. So for me, this is an excellent area to be in, specifically metals, exactly what you were saying. Metals have gone crazy, but I wonder what's next.
Thank you. Are there any like
hello, this is a very interesting conversation for me. So, as Tom from Goldeye, so we provide a liquidity management platform that connects our broker clients and our crypto clients to liquidity sources. So, I was interested from that point of view. You talked about apps for people trading on their phone. I'm thinking more of the institutional style. How will the brokers and the crypto firms access the digital silver liquidity, and which venues will it appear on? Existing exchanges? Is it just your venue, or how will they actually access it?
Sorry? So was that a question for me?
Whoever would like to answer it.
Any of the... Okay. So Tom, not unusual for you to always ask tough questions, given that I know you for a couple of years. But I think we are still couple of steps behind where tokenized silver is going to be a easily accessible product in the major different execution venue. Let's not forget, it takes a lot of confidence building, a lot of time invested before big institutional players start accepting blockchain assets, crypto assets in general. BlackRock took at least the last 4 or 5 years. Temasek Holdings in Singapore took at least 4 or 5 years. So to your question, I do see now it's going to be a bespoke asset class that is going to be offered on individual liquidity providers' own terms. But over time, it's going to converge and replicate what exactly is happening in the traditional OTC space towards an aggregation, where it's going to drive terms and conditions in terms of pricing, liquidity, market access into a convergent point. And this would come from big players, not only the crypto exchange, but I see traditional exchange and crypto exchange driving this development down the road. Yep.
I think once regulation and transparency is improved, exactly with the terms and conditions and what have you, we'll have a different world and a different renewed trust in tokens.
Thank you very much.
Bob.
I just had a question. It's Brad. I have a question just in relation to tokenization. You've spoken about tokenization of gold and silver. What sort of, I guess, there's the ERC 3643, which has come out, which has got a fairly high degree of compliance behind it. I guess I just wanted to ask the panel if they had any view over the actual type of token, be it an ERC or a Binance-related token, or anything else that you think might be appropriate for the tokenization of metals.
Okay, Bob is another guy that asks tough questions, but happy to take all that on. So, okay, let's take a proxy asset class that recently has been legitimized. I'm sure some of you all have heard of SC Ventures, which is basically Standard Chartered Ventures. They are well known as institutional investors into various projects in Asia. So one successful project that they have invested and have went live is actually the tokenization of government bonds. It happened in Singapore. I shan't name what is that firm's name, but Google it up and do your own research. So right now, Thai government bonds, Sing dollar government bonds are being fractionalized, tokenized, and made available to the retail. If you look at it, why fixed income? It's a stable asset class. It's driven by institutions that are state-owned, put it that way. Gold, silver, due to the volatility that it's inherent in them, are going to take a bit of time before they could come under a broader umbrella of regulations. What you have mentioned, would that be suffice to create a fair playing ground down the road? I'm not sure, but I don't see that happening so soon. Fixed income will be one that will be heading towards that space already. I think next, equities perhaps, before really the high touch products like gold and silver. So I hope that kind of answers your question. Yep. Okay, we have 2.5 minutes, although the organizer said 5 minutes. Anyone else? If not, if not, I would like to take this time to thank my two distinguished guests as well, and thank you for everyone for your kind attendance here. Yep, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.